Now here is the other question. What if in one household there is few brothers? There is a few brothers. It's a big house. Let's say there is a big house and there is a few brothers, they live in that house. Let's say their parents died. Father and mother, they died, rahimahumullah. And now 5 brothers, they live in that house. Big house, mashallah. They married, all of them married, for example, and everybody has their own place. Remember, it's not permissible. See, I'm going to mention this. I'm going to open a window here. It's happening in Africa and other places, and in Pakistan and many places in Africa and Arab world. What they do, you find one house and 5 brothers, they all married, they all have wives, and they all live in one house. Meaning, everyone has one room, and one living room, and one kitchen, and one dining room. Which brings what? The brothers, they are mingling with the wives of their brothers, and that's haram in Islam. It's not permissible. My brother's wife is not a mahram for me. But then they're like, no, it's not a big deal. That's just my brother's wife. No, it's a big deal. My brother's wife is not mahram. It's not permissible for me to be with her, to look at her, shake her hands, whatever, or to eat with her, to sit with her, to be alone with her in the house. Sometimes you find one brother is married, one, and he has like 7 young brothers. When I'm young, I mean like all teenagers and up. And he goes to work and leave his wife with them. No, that's not permissible. That's haram. It's haram. Sometimes in some countries and I see brothers looking at me like, whoa, man. Yeah, I know this is happening. And that's not permissible. He has to change. It's not permissible, ya ikhwan. Now you see a brother in a market by himself with a woman, and oh, that's our brother. You know, I'm not married. I didn't say nothing. That's just my brother's wife. You have no business to be with your brother's wife in a market. She's behind him on a motorcycle and holding him. That's not permissible. It is not permissible. It's not permissible, ya ikhwan. But now the question is, if those 5 brothers, they have in a big house, but everybody has a part of the house, and they don't mingle. If they want to get together, the brothers, they get together and eat together. The wives, they get together and eat together. Not the wives and the brother, they all mixing together. No, that's not permissible in Islam. So if this is the case now, if they all live in one place, as long as the women, they don't mingle with the brothers, but they eat together. Meaning the food, not they eat together from one plate. No. I mean like they cook together. They have one kitchen, but then the women, they eat by themselves. The men, they eat by themselves. Then they can have one Eid. All right, is that understood? Clear? If they cook together, one meal, but they should not sit all of them together. This brother next to his wife's shoulders, this. No, I can't do these things, actually. I know it's happening in some culture, but we're Muslims, we don't follow cultures. What we follow? Quran and Sunnah. We don't follow. Something that is not permissible is not permissible. And now we Fulani. I don't care, Fulani, Suraqoli, Yoruba, Swahili, Walofi, Madingo. Doesn't matter. What matters is that, no, you come from different background, alhamdulillah, you speak different dialects, you eat different food. It's okay, we're happy for you. But don't use that, we're from different background, this is how we do it. No, you do it the right way. The way that is legislated in Islam, barakallahu fikum. I know a brother, subhanAllah, from Asia. He used to listen to the classes in one of the masajid. And one time I mentioned something like this, and he came to me after class and said, wait a minute. We're like 4 brothers, man, in one house. My brother's wife is like my sister. I was like, yeah, right. Your sister? I said, not your sister. He said, no, it's like this. I said, it's not, akhi, it's haram. Then after a while, months, maybe a year or so or more, every time during that months and year he come and he's like, yeah, you know what? You're right, because subhanAllah, shaitan is wicked, man. Sometimes he be looking, sometimes, I said, see, now you won't be looking at your sister like that. He's like, yeah, you're right, subhanAllah, man, yeah. He says, since I learned that, man, I'm like, what's going on? I like it. Do the right thing, Yafi. And finally, a couple of months ago, he told me, Jazakallah khair, he said that, because I said to him, you have to teach your brother, they don't know. At first, man, they all were against him. I said, yeah, they were against the prophets, man. Oh, you the first one? As long as you're the one what is right, doesn't matter who agree with you and who oppose you. You're doing it for the sake of Allah. Those who oppose you today, inshallah, if Allah open their hearts and accept the truth, they're going to come and thank you. And that's what happened. For months, where you bring this new stuff, see? The deen become new and the bid'ah become the right things. The sunnah becomes strange, people don't know it. You try to apply the sunnah, they're like, hey, where you bring that stuff? Especially now, you live here in Atlanta, and you want to tell your people in the village, in Sorako, in Dimbakunda, or Kolari, or Gambisara, or whatever it is, and you're going to tell them, hey, we can't do it. Like, you learn this in America? What kind of Islam of America? You see? That's why you have to have patience. You have to have patience until it's not about America. I learned, alhamdulillah, I learned something. When you learn it in America, in Saudi, in Africa, in Asia, it doesn't matter as long as you learn what is right. And then finally he says, the brothers, they're like, you're right, man, you're right. We're not going to argue. You're right, man. Those feelings are there. Shaitan is wicked. If I can tell you stories that sometimes we read from the fatwa. This is very dangerous. Brothers living together with their wives. One of the fatwa was that a man, after years, he's married, and he has his brothers living with him, and he has like 4 or 5 beautiful children. After all this time, he went to the doctor for whatever reason, and the doctor said, who are these? He said, they're my children. Then the doctor was like, what? Your children? You're not supposed to have no children. You're a person that can never have children. How you get these children? He said, no, they're my children. I'm married. These are my children. I was there when they were born. He said, I'm not asking that, man. It's like, you are a person that cannot bear children. They find out that was his brother. Talking about nothing wrong with my brother being in the house. For years. Let us close that window, inshallah. May Allah protect the Muslims, ameen. But we need to protect ourselves, and we have protection by applying the sunnah, barakallahu feekum. By applying the sunnah in everything, barakallahu feekum, hafidakumullah. So if those brothers now, they all eat from one dish, or now from one kitchen, as long as they observe the manners of Islam, one animal is enough for all of them. But if everybody has his own kitchen, they eat by themselves, then everybody should do the Eid by themselves.